Hi, I'm Patrick Dillon. I'm the CEO of Wise Digital Partners, and I'm sitting down today with Carlo Victa, who's my Director of Operations. Carlo also happens to be the head of SEO and the head of copy departments here at Wise Digital. And we wanted to sit down and talk about one of our most favorite disciplines, most profitable disciplines in the agency, a true driving north of the business, our SEO department. And Carlo, for most business owners, I think SEO is a very mystifying concept. They don't really understand how businesses appear on Google and others don't. I just want to start out high level. Let's talk about what is SEO.
So SEO stands for search engine optimization, right? It's the art of getting found on search engines like Google for the kind of business that you are, for the getting found for the products and the services and the solutions that you as a business owner offer that people are looking for. Now, what's the greatest tragedy, right? It's running a great business and doing quality work and yet being invisible online. And so that's a reality. It happens, and SEO is meant to combat that, to get people found, right? But let me ask you, Pat, name a business category as just for an illustration here.
Okay, how about one of our top categories, accounting?
So if I Googled CPA San Diego, the fundamental question for SEO is, why are some business websites immediately visible on Google? Now, mind you, right under the ads, we're not talking about that. That's not SEO. But I'm talking about, why are some CPAs, accounting firms, visible in the main search results or even in the map section of Google? And that's what SEO is really all about, right? It's leveraging the factors that help businesses rank higher on Google to start getting clicks and traffic and attention and conversions and customers and clients. It's all about leveraging those factors.
So Carlo, what are those factors? What are the factors that can really help a business, gain Google's attention?
So I think even before we talk about what do I as a business owner need to do to rank higher, let's talk about what Google uses to rank businesses higher. Let's even back up. Google's mission, what is it? It's to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That's what Google's all about, right? If you type in ice cream shop near me, how unhelpful would it be if Google returns stuff about bowling pins and bowling balls, right? Google's all about connecting users with helpful results. And part of what Google considers helpful, there's 3 letters basically that determine how Google ranks website content. Those 3 letters are EAT, EAT in other words, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. These are things found within Google's search rater quality guidelines, and Google basically says, hey, if you as a business display these 3 things, guess what? You're more likely to rank higher, because I as Google want to promote content that is authoritative and trustworthy, not just crap, right? So the question then is, how can businesses position themselves as experts, as authorities, as trustworthy? And there's a variety of SEO factors there to talk about that, right? There's 2 main kinds of SEO, and maybe you've heard of what those 2 kinds are, right?
So we're talking about on-page versus off-page, right, Carlo?
Yeah, exactly. On-page SEO. What are the factors on your website that we can leverage to raise the conversation in Google's eyes and the eyes of users? So we're talking about the content on your website. We're talking about the code of your website, HTML. We're talking about the structure and performance of your website. That's all on-page SEO. But then there's also off-page SEO, beyond your website. What are the signals Google looks at to determine that your business is alive and kicking and thriving? There's listings online, whether it's Yelp or whether it's all kinds of other platforms. There's links that point back to your website that demonstrate authority. There are various social signals to Google, and Google looks at all of this. The problem is SEOs don't often look at everything, or well-meaning marketing managers don't look at everything. And so that's just to kind of close out this answer, right? There are plenty of SEO companies and experts out there that are only focused on a few of those many SEO factors, but the wise SEO will look at everything.
And I think that's actually one of the biggest advantages, Carlo, of working with a full-service digital agency like Wise Digital, in that, we have 7 or 8 very well-developed departments within the agency, all focused on things that, taken together, can really benefit the outcomes of the SEO work of the agency.
100%.
Carlo, thanks again. This is, I think, really helpful for business owners who, when they first hear about SEO and it's first explained to them, they first start reading about it. It's a very challenging subject and discipline to understand because it is quite confusing. And I think more agencies than not, and most of the salespeople out there that work for agencies, really try to make SEO very confusing to the business owner. And I don't think it needs to be. I think it is a discipline that, of course, has a lot of signals and a lot of factors. But the reality is, we're just trying to show Google that we're an authoritative figure in the space. And if we provide them with the right content structured the right way, we're going to get their attention.